Welcome to the FITMAMA podcast, where it's all about gaining your health back as a busy woman and mom, and doing it without sacrificing time with your family or business. Here is your host, mompreneur and FITMAMA health coach, Angela Campbell.
Hey, what is up, ladies? I'm excited to talk about cravings in today's episode of our podcast because it's something a lot of people struggle with. Cravings can be really hard to fight. Cravings can also be those things that are keeping you from losing weight. Cravings can also be those things that are causing you to be moody. Cravings can also be those things that are really just making life a little bit harder than it should be, right? So in today's episode, we are going to talk about cravings. I'm going to share with you a lot of things about what might be causing your cravings, because there's a long list of things that can cause your cravings, ladies. And I'm also going to talk about some things you can do to fight your cravings as well, too. So if you are catching this live with me right now inside the group, definitely say hi. Let me know that you're here and that you're able to actually hear me okay. I always love to do a sound check before I get started, for sure as well, too, right? So cravings. If you've got something specific that you crave, drop it below. I would love to see what is your biggest craving. I know I've had a lot of conversations with women inside of our FITMAMpreneur group about this over the last week and a half. And it's very common, you guys. Some of the most common can be sweets. Sweets is a very common one. What is it? If it is sweets for you, like what is it? Is it chocolate? Is it donuts? Is it ice cream? What is your cravings? Drop it in the comments below if you're catching this now, either live on the video on our live stream inside our group. Hey Sherry, what is up? Or if you're catching this later on replay as well, definitely share. But today we're going to talk about it for sure. And the thing is if you're catching this later on the actual podcast episode, then join our group. You can go to acfitmama.com/Facebook and just join the group, right? But I love helping women inside of our group understand all these things, right? I love helping and teaching busy women, busy moms especially, how that you can fit yourself in and do all these things, right? So first, I'm going to give you a couple shout outs because I love cheering women on, okay? So give some kudos, show some love in the comments for sure as I share some of these wins, and then I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes that I know you guys want to hear about cravings, the causes and how to fight them. But first, lots. I have to say a welcome to 2 new women this week have decided to join our 12-week program so we can walk them through the whole thing, help them create that lifestyle change, utilizing our habit approach. But welcome Andrea Bacon and also welcome Robin Bracken. Like, guys, say welcome in the comments. Like, it's a big step for them to commit to that. And it's a big step on their own. So they're going to need cheerleaders for sure. As well as we would definitely cheer you on as well too if you're listening. But also, huge shout out to so many people, but a couple, Brittany Melton in this group, say go Brittany in the comments. She's officially down 5 pounds and 12 and a half inches. Her before and after pictures are amazing. A lot of body composition changing going on for that girl. Jennifer Corpus, 3.2 pounds and 8.25 inches down. Guys, that's in 2 weeks. That's pretty awesome. Kaylina Gulup has been fighting a lot of things, a lot of things trying to pull that woman down. And she is one strong mama with 4 babies, and she's down 8 pounds and 8.5 inches, guys. So give some kudos in the comments. Cause again, every woman needs a little bit of love and a little bit of support and a little bit of kudos, right? So again, let's talk about the main topic of today's video is cravings. And I want to talk about what causes them. We're going to go over that first, and then I'm going to share some things that you can do to help fight them, right? So again, if you're catching this and you're on now and able to type, tell me what is yours. What is your biggest craving? But there's two, when you're talking about cravings, there's physical things that actually cause your cravings, and then there's also mental things that also cause your cravings, right? So they can be physical and it can be mental, right? There's multiple things, and there's a long list of them. But I pick and chose the most important ones that I know women in here that I know deal with, right? Number 1 cause of cravings are your hormones. Now, can we control our hormones and change them? You can to an extent, but not 100%, right? Of course, if this is you and you know, like during your menstrual cycle, you crave certain foods or you have a little less control of your appetite, then no, you're not alone. That's actually pretty normal, right? But one of the physical causes of cravings can be your hormones. You guys, but here's the thing. We can't necessarily totally control our hormones, But there are certain things that play a role in your hormones that you can control. Things like stress, things like your eating habits, things like sleep. All of these things are things we control, but I'm gonna talk about that a little bit in just a second. But I wanted to bring up hormones as first. It's something that we all deal with. As women, we unfortunately have them in one time a month, and they go a little crazy, okay? It's a cause, it's part of it, right? The biggest thing is to recognize it and understand what your cravings are maybe during those times, and learn to adapt, learn to redirect your focus, learn to not go to the pantry, go somewhere else when those times happen. That's me. When it happens to me, I find myself snacking like crazy, and it's usually the kids stuff, the goldfish, the crackers, the little things that I usually don't eat. But I found myself these last few days and I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, okay, that's what's going on, right? Number 2, physical cause of your cravings, you guys. I kind of mentioned this a second ago, but your sleep. How many hours of sleep do you actually get a night? Drop in the comments. I'd love to know if you know about how many hours of sleep. Because I used to only get 3 to 4 and it was horrible. It was really bad. It was very unhealthy, but I did it for a long time because that was the schedule I was trying to live by. And it took me a while to be able to make changes in my life so that I didn't have to do that, right? Now, about 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and it's amazing. Guys, if you're not getting enough sleep, and I know this is so easy for me to say, and so easy for me to preach to you to get enough sleep, but you have to make it a priority, because we can only do so much when you don't have any sleep, right? And sleep, lack of it, will affect your hormones in a very negative way, and lack of sleep can also affect your cravings. Okay, so sleep is another one. Okay, number 3 is a poor diet, especially when in specific nutrients, you guys. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more on like how to fight your cravings. But when it comes to having a nutrient poor diet, then that's a lot of times where cravings come from, deficiencies happen in your body. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean hitting a certain calorie goal, because there's a very big difference in hitting a certain calorie goal than there is about hitting your macros. Okay, and so that's what I'm meaning a little bit more. If you didn't catch last week's episode of this training inside this group or on the podcast, I talked a lot more about your macros and why they're so important, or which ones are important. And I'm gonna hit that a little bit today as well too. But no, if you have a nutrient poor diet, then you're going to have cravings. And what do I mean by a nutrient poor? I mean, you can be eating 1,500 calories in a day, but where are you getting your calories? Is it all from fat? Is it all from carbs? Is it all from sugar? Is it all from what? If you don't have a combination of protein, especially, you want to have protein in your diet. And again, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. It's not just about meeting your certain calories. You have to have a balance of those macronutrients, meaning protein, meaning fats, meaning carbs, and having a little bit of each of them, right? So if you're trying to lose weight, don't just focus on that number of calories. Whoop, I ate 1,500 calories today. Well, what did you eat? Because you can eat 1,500 calories going through drive-through with one meal, right? So it makes a big difference. You have to balance them out, and you have to spread your meals throughout the day too. Right? But that's maybe I'll do a different training on how your day should look like, how you should spread it out, right? But a nutrient poor diet, you guys, your diet is everything. And if you're not getting the right nutrients in your body, then it's okay to supplement. Like, I'm a big believer in supplements. I don't like to just rely on supplements to lose weight, for example. However, I do love certain supplements. I'd be happy to share. Anybody put supplements in the comments and I'll share with you some of my favorites. I have a collagen-based products that I love that help me stay lean and fight fat and fight joint pain and you name it. But I'm a big believer in, if you want to take a supplement, one, do your research and take the right ones, the ones that's going to benefit you, not just because your friend's taking them, right? But you also have to couple it with nutrition changes and fitness changes if you really want to get the most out of what you just purchased. Right? Don't just throw money at products after product after product trying to hurry up and get the best results, because that's not going to be the best. That's not going to be the healthiest route to go, right? You have to have nutrition as a part of it as well too. You don't have to be perfect. I don't ever ask any woman that I coach to be perfect on your nutrition, and 100% of the time eat your most healthiest choices. 80-20, enjoy life. Moderation is what we live by, not restriction, right? So again, if you're eating a low nutrient diet, it's gonna cause you to have cravings. And one of the big ones that I see, one, not enough protein is a very, very big cause of it. But also if you're someone that is trying to do a no carb diet, okay, and if you're not doing certain things like increasing your healthy fats and doing a bunch of different things, if you go no carb, you're going to drop weight. But guess what you're going to do as soon as you incorporate them right back? You're going to add them back. I'm a big believer of having carbs in your nutrition. Everybody's different on how many you need, but in moderation. If you're following a specific diet that calls for no carbs, then make sure you understand that diet and make sure you're doing it correctly, or you're going to do yourself more harm than anything, right? And because when it comes to cravings, carbs sometimes and not having enough fuel in your body is one of the things sometimes can cause things like sugar cravings. Okay, check yourself. Are you too scared to eat a carb that you're causing yourself to crave sweets, and then you eat chocolate? Well, I'd rather you eat sweet potatoes and don't create those cravings and end up indulging in too much chocolate or ice cream, right? But you got to figure out what works best for you, okay? Water intake as well as another cause. You guys, your body sometimes is just simply dehydrated and it needs food. Your body can sometimes be dehydrated and it's asking you to put some sugar in it or put some salt in it or whatever it is that you're craving, right? And so sometimes that can literally be your problem. Drinking enough water on a daily basis is a very important part of everything, of weight loss in general, yes, but also when it comes to cravings, sometimes you're not getting enough water, so your body is dehydrated and it's going to cause you to want certain things, right? So water is definitely one of them. Gut health is another one. Gut health is one of the things I love to talk about because gut health is something most people don't think about. And having a healthy gut takes a lot of multiple things. Drink enough water. You can take things like probiotics, digestive enzymes. There's an aloe vera that we have that is also really positive and beneficial. There's collagen, sometimes is really beneficial to your gut. But there's also certain foods that you can eat to help reduce the inflammation in your gut. And that's one of the things that we teach and we do inside our programs, is help you figure out what those foods are. But getting enough water, making sure you got a healthy gut will help you fight cravings and also these things. All I'm talking about too, if you're on a weight loss journey and you want to lose 5 pounds or you want to lose 100, wherever you are, it's going to matter. All these things are not just going to help you fight cravings, they're also going to help you actually get results, right? So gut health, not being active, believe it or not, the less active you are, sometimes your body will start triggering cravings. Okay, so sometimes it's lack of activity, right? So if you're listening and you're on this video right now, share with me, like, how often do you actually do an activity, work out? Maybe, and I love to say do an activity versus just working out, because not everybody can do a full 30-minute, 45-minute, an hour workout. I mean activity, go for a walk every day. Count your steps. How many steps are you getting in a day? Are you sedentary? Are you sitting way too much, too long? Sometimes the lack of activity can also cause cravings, right? There's a couple more that physical things that cause your cravings. One of them is high processed foods. You guys, if you're eating a lot of things that come from a box that you just have to throw together and cook it on the stove and eat, or if you're eating a lot of processed foods, even the healthy lean cuisines or whatever you call them, there's so many of them out there nowadays. That's just the first one that kind of pops in my mind. But there's a lot of processed foods. I always say it's a rule of thumb. All you have to do is heat it and eat it. It's a processed food. And there's a lot of extra stuff that goes into those types of meals. All you have to do is heat it and eat it. That add a lot of extra added fats, a lot of hidden sugars, a lot of extra sodium, and the list goes on and on and on, right? But if you have a diet that's really high in that's high in processed foods, then that also, because of all the things that are in those types of foods, those can also cause you to have cravings. Okay, so if you're eating a really high processed diet, you're going to want to make some changes. Clean your diet up. You don't have to be perfect. But learn a few tricks of the trade of meal prepping some fresh foods. Okay, there's a video in this group that I did meal prepping. First, it was shopping on a budget at Aldi, which I love, is my favorite place. If you shop at Aldi, put Aldi below. I love shopping there, and I just found out that they deliver to my house, so I've used that twice, and it's the most amazing thing in the world. But go check out that other video as well. It's all about shopping on a budget. But also meal prepping in less than 30 minutes. You guys, you can do this. You don't have to eat a whole bunch of processed food to fuel your body. You're doing yourself more harm than good, and you're causing cravings in your body, right? And here's kind of a rule of thumb, and there's something you know, and there's something that I'm sure we've all heard, but the more you eat something, the more you're going to crave it. So if you're finding yourself snacking on things like chocolate or ice cream on a regular basis just because it's become a habit, because sometimes, you guys, these are just not necessarily cravings. Sometimes it's just simply a bad habit that you have, wanting dessert after your dinners, or going for ice cream before you go to bed, or going for something specific. If you find yourself doing it every single night, think about this for a second. Is your body really triggering you that you need that, or that you're hungry for that? Or is it more your mind? I promise, sometimes it's actually more of your mind, because the more you eat something, if you're eating ice cream every single night, guess what your body's going to crave? It's going to start craving, because that's a habit. Well, instead of creating that as a bad habit, switch it up, change it, maybe refocus yourself when you're about to go to the ice box and go get some ice cream, then go get something else. Go for water instead, right? Or there's so many different things you can do instead. Maybe go to sleep instead of go to the freezer, right? But the more you eat something, the more you're going to crave it, right? So all those things are physical things that can cause you to crave certain foods. Judith, yes, thank you so much for sharing. Bread, ice cream, and chocolates. Those are the ones I bring those up because I hear those a lot. I hear those a lot from women. Those are the things that we tend to crave often. But here I also wanted to talk about a couple more these are more mental causes of cravings that can be going on in your body, right? Besides the physical that I just talked about, let's talk about mental. One of the number one things that can cause all kinds of issues within your body, and this is why we talk about this a lot in this group, is stress. Stress. Comment stress below if you're listening, because stress is something that we all face. Everybody's looks a little bit different. Everybody's at certain times is way higher than others. The problem with that is we have to learn to manage our stress. And it's not easy. And it's not a flip of a switch and all of a sudden I'm a master at managing my stress. No, there's small things that you have to do on a daily basis to help manage this. Because when you are super stressed, you're stressed out all the time. Guess what? Your nutrition is off. Your hormones are crazy, and because whenever you are stressed, your hormones are directly affected, and there's excess levels of cortisol that is released into your body that causes all kinds of craving. It causes weight gain. If you have belly fat you're trying to get rid of, stress, I would say if you can't focus on nutrition yet, you can't focus on fitness, focus on your stress. Your stress alone could be causing you cravings. Your stress alone could be causing you weight gain. Your stress alone could be causing you from losing weight. You might be doing all the things in the world perfect, but if that stress is still way up here and you're not doing anything to manage it, like deep breathing practices, meditation, reading, working out, eating a healthy diet, guys, whenever you are stressed, everything goes off. Everything goes crazy. You're going to crave because all these other factors that I just talked about are affected, right? So stress is one of the mental causes, you guys, of cravings. So if you find yourself stressed, I hear this a lot. If you're a stress eater, think about it. If you're stressed, you're a stress eater, you go to chocolate, you go to bread, you go to whatever your vice is. I know a lot of women who told me it was salt, it's chips, it's crunchy stuff, and sometimes it's just that sensation that you're looking for. But stress is one of the big ones. Your mood, those to me kind of go hand in hand, but your mood, again, these are more habits sometimes than they are problems. Like if you do it, I already talked about this, but if you do it over and over and over, guess what happens? You form a habit. And if you are in a bad mood, you're sad, you're emotional, you're stressed, or any of these things, and you go to chocolate, guess what happens? You're going to create yourself a habit that you go to chocolate every single time you get sad or mad or stressed, right? So sometimes they can just be little, the first step is being aware of it. One of the things that I love to do in some of our coaching programs is we'll get on a Zoom call together, and we encourage everybody to write down your feelings. How do you feel exactly right now? How do you feel? Write it down. And then we're going to talk about, okay, whenever you feel these emotions like stressed, sad, hurt, any of these things, what do you typically go to? And then we make a list. And usually that's eating bad. Maybe that's drinking. I have some women that will go to wine or things because they think that's going to be released. it only fixes the problem very temporary, and then it causes you more problems in the future. So one of the biggest things is if you find yourself as an emotional eater or a habit, your habit is to go to chocolate when I'm stressed, your habit is to go to chocolate. It's not just a craving. It may not necessarily be your diet creating all these deficiencies in your body. It can be more of up here. It's a habit that you have created, which is good news. To me, that's a positive thing. You just have to do some mental work, and you can fix that problem. Direct yourself to something different when you're feeling stressed and craving something. Then go for something else. Go for water. Go for a walk. Go for reading. Go for prayer. Go for whatever it is that you love that really works for you. Here's another cause, a mental cause. Sometimes it's just association. What do I mean by that? Sometimes you don't necessarily crave popcorn, but you're watching a movie and you think, oh, I'm watching a movie now, I need popcorn. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just that mental association with a certain event or a certain, like birthday parties, for example, right? So you're going to crave birthday cake. No, it's really just because you're at a birthday party, and that's kind of usually the thing that you do at a birthday party, right? It's cake. You may not necessarily crave the cake, but your mind has already made up the mind, I'm going to have cake because I'm going to a birthday party. Does that make sense? Right? I'm not saying don't. Like we had my sister's and my daughter's birthday this past weekend, and I had cake for both. But I'm talking obviously more along the lines of craving. Sometimes it's just mental and it's up here. And some people just have an addictive personality naturally that it's more of an addiction to a chocolate. It's more of an addiction to wine at night, or whatever the scenario is. Not to the extent of alcoholism. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about just that addiction to having that thing, right? Always. But to stop your cravings, I'm going to share some tips on how to stop them, how to really fight them. If you want to fight these cravings, because these cravings are driving you crazy, and every time you go to that chocolate or that ice cream or whatever it is that your vice is, and you end up feeling guilty and you end up beating yourself afterwards, and then you hate that feeling, here's a couple things that you can do. Number one, drink plenty of water. Usually 80 ounces is usually the minimum, or make it easier on you. Do half your body weight in ounces. Start there. If you're not drinking enough water, start there. If you can get it all the way up to a gallon, great. Don't go over a gallon. Then you start to reaching where you're drinking too much. There's a thing. That is a thing. But the biggest thing is drink water. So again, another habit that we helped one of the other ladies in our programs create, she was snacking out of boredom all the time. And instead, we created a habit with her. Instead, when she finds herself about to go eat something, or so if you're craving something, you're about to go eat chocolate, I'm about to go get chips, I'm about to go get popcorn, whatever that scenario is for you, grab some water instead. Grab some water instead. Is it as appealing? Probably not. Not gonna be on it. Not gonna lie. But you're gonna feel better afterwards, right? And then acknowledge the fact that you fought your craving and I went for water instead of chocolate. And make a little tally mark. Put it on the refrigerator. Write it on the board. Share it in this group. Whatever helps you. Remember and give yourself kudos for doing it, because then you're gonna build confidence and you're gonna feel better, and then you're gonna be able to do it more. Right? So number one tip to stop cravings, drink enough water, you guys. You have to have water for all facets of your body. Your body will function so much better in every avenue if you're drinking enough water. Number two, eat more protein. I guarantee you're probably not getting enough protein. It's not an easy habit to conquer. It's one of the first macronutrients we work with women on in our programs, because it's one of the most important. Eat enough protein. So rule of thumb is try to get protein in each of your meals. So if you're eating 5 meals a day, try to get some sort of protein in each of them. You want a lean protein. Don't just eat oatmeal by itself in the morning. Add some eggs. Maybe add a protein shake, right? Don't just eat a salad with no meat in it at lunch. You guys, that's such a small amount of calories, not near enough nutrients that your body needs. Throw some chicken on top of that salad or on the side, right? Same thing in the evenings. You got to have enough protein, you guys. It's crucial for all kinds of things. And if you're wanting to fight cravings, get enough protein. If you want to lose weight, get enough protein. Definitely a big thing. Number three, distance. Just distance yourself from whatever it is you're craving. Do not have it around you if you do not trust yourself around it. If chocolate is your vice and you're trying really hard and you want to fight it, you really want to do it, you really want it bad enough, get rid of it. Get it out of your house. Get it out of your desk drawer. Don't have it around you. It is the worst thing you can possibly do, right? Because there's going to be a moment where you're stressed out and you're like, screw it, I'm going for my chocolate. And then you're going to beat yourself up afterwards. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it, right? Number 4, plan your meals. One of the best things you can do for yourself is plan your meals. Meal prep. Prep some food. You don't have to prep every single meal. If your biggest struggle is lunch, for example, then do yourself a favor at least and prep lunches for the week. Okay, and then once you master that and you're consistent with it, then prep your snacks as well. Whatever part of your day is harder for you. Mine's lunches. If I don't have lunches prepped, I'm usually not making a good choice. Okay, so plan your meals. Even if you don't meal prep your dinners, map it out. What am I going to make every single week? As a mom, it's going to help you relieve stress so much. Then rather than having to try to figure it out when it's time to cook dinner. Oh, what am I going to throw together tonight? No, plan it, map it out, and then cook it whenever it comes time. So plan your meals. Number 5 thing that you can do to stop cravings, stop allowing yourself to go too long without eating. Okay, there's fasting, which is intermittent fasting, and a lot of different things out there. Okay. And I'm a fan of intermittent fasting, believe it or not. Like, I love it. I enjoy it. There's a way to do it that's correct, and there's a big time way to do it that's wrong. It's not starving. It is called fasting, and there's a reason if you decide to do that. But what I'm talking about is don't skip meals. It's so easy for me to say, and when you're busy, it's easy to just skip. But it's the worst thing you could possibly do for your weight loss journey, for your mood, for your stress, for how you feel, and for your cravings. Oftentimes when you go way too long between meals, okay, and you get to that place of like, I am so hangry, I'm about to eat my desk over here, then that's when cravings start to kick in and your willpower goes out the door and your discipline goes out the door, and that's when you end up either binging on something or just making the wrong choices. Right? So the best thing you can do for everything, but also your cravings, is eat every few hours. I'm a big fan of 3 to 4 hours. Every 3 to 4 hours, eat something. And if you can't physically sit down, then grab a protein shake, grab some fruit, something along those lines. Put something in your body. Don't go away long periods of time without eating. It's really bad on causing cravings in your body. And then the other 3 were fighting stress. I already talked about this one, but you guys, you have to learn to manage your stress for your own health and for the sake of everybody around you. If you're stressed right here to the max, and like I said earlier in this video, if you don't have time to really meal prep, or it's just a matter about making time, making it a priority, and do a little bit. You don't have to do everything all at one time. Baby step is the best process you can possibly do. One tiny thing at a time. Don't go from eating like crap and a bunch of junk food to taking it all away at one day and eating clean, because it's not going to last. It's only going to last a few days, and then you're going to say, screw this. This sucks. My cravings are through the roof. I'm going crazy. I'm tired. I'm feeling hungry. Like, there's so many things. Baby step it. Do not take everything out at one time. That will cause cravings. And then you will go crazy. It makes it way harder than it should. So learn to fight your stress. You guys, do things for yourself. Do things for yourself. You're a woman and a mom in this group that doesn't have time for yourself. Find 10 minutes in your day that you can spend, even if it's just quiet time with no electronics, just quiet time, nothing but focusing on you, even if you're just squatting the whole time, right? Get something in for yourself. Fight your stress. Get your sleep. Okay, and eat proper meals. And so those are the biggest and best things that you can do. If you're on a weight loss journey, obviously these will help. If you're fighting cravings, all of these things will help. The worst thing you can do for your cravings, though, is starve yourself, not to drink enough water, not get enough sleep, let stress rule your world, and all the other things I talked about. So if you're hopping on now, definitely, I'm wrapping up. You can go back to the beginning and check this out for sure, too, because there's a lot of things I talked about that are physical causes for your cravings, as well as mental causes for your cravings. And then I shared about 6 or 7 different things that you can do to help fight your cravings, right? So again, if you're at a place right now in your journey, you're like, I can't do this on my own. I've tried over and over and over, and I'm losing and gaining the same 20 pounds over and over and over and over. There's a link above. Set up a time that you and I can chat on a call one-on-one with me and you. And maybe there's something that we have that can help you, or we can shoot you in the right direction to maybe find something that will. And that's it, you guys. I hope you got value from today's episode. And every Thursday at 11 a.m. Central, there'll be a new training going on right here. And as well as if you haven't seen it yet, we launched FITMAMA Health Talk. It's on the Life Network Women for Life Network Women app. I can't even say it. I'll put the link in here as well too. It's a Christian app. It's a Christian channel full of so many amazing, inspiring women sharing all kinds of things for inspiration, for the Bible, for prayer, for all the things. And I'm incorporating faith and fitness on that channel and talking about a lot of things as well too, with kind of a little bit different spin on it. So if you're a woman of faith, definitely download the app because there's so much value, not just our episodes that come out every Wednesday. So many other powerful women on there that share so many things. You might find somebody that you can follow that can really help you change your life on the faith level, as well as everything else. So I'll talk to you soon. See you on the next video, and y'all have an awesome day.